Another thing that happened earlier yesterday is that Mark Zuckerberg released a video talking about some major changes happening at Meta that obviously includes Facebook and Instagram. And some exec, not him, but like some other executive from Facebook went on Fox to talk more about Mark's announcement. And I gotta say, I welcomed it. Now, I was surprised at how many conservatives, when I retweeted the whole video of Mark Zuckerberg talking about the changes, so many people were like, it's too little too late. I don't trust that guy. He's a jerk. And he shut down this page and that page. And I get it. You shouldn't trust Mark Zuckerberg, but there's no reason to not welcome these changes. And so it's like, would you be happier if he just left things the way they are?
Right.
I don't understand what there is to be mad about. These are
he's still an
really
alien.
positive. Of course he's an alien.
He's still an alien from Gleeborg 9, you guys. He still is, right? But he's 40 years old now. And I think
exactly.
If you are, I don't know, if you're a person in like of advanced age and you're watching this broadcast, and you are, I say advanced age, if say you're in middle age, you're like 50s, 60s, 70s even, right? Watching this. Think back to when you were 40 and how you started looking at things differently in life. Perhaps he's doing that, even as an alien from Gleeborg 9. I think he wants to be Elon when he grows up.
I think, he's definitely taking some steps from Elon, and we'll show you just a few little bits. We're not playing his entire speech, although I encourage everybody to listen to the whole thing and tell me what you disagree with, because everything he said made 100% sense. And the changes are very, very positive. Now, you can question his motives. You can say, well, he's just doing this because now Trump's going to be president and he wants to make sure he's in good favor. Maybe that's true. I don't care. The fact of the matter is these are good changes. And so we should just be happy about that regardless of the motive. So he listed out 5 different things that they're going to do, different steps that they're going to take. So I tried to condense his overall talk into just those 5 bullet points. And so here they are. I'm just going to let them run together and you can hear exactly what he's going to do right here.
Specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now. And we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again.
Yeah, really?
Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it.
Yeah, if anybody should be pissed off at this guy, it's us. Because we have been on the receiving end for the past, listen, we've been doing this for 15 years. And we were there when Facebook was awesome because we started like in our business in
2009.
2008. And then in 2009, we got on Facebook and we rode the wave where it was like, Facebook was awesome, you guys. It was awesome. And then it was like, bam, crash.
Yeah.
And he was shadow banning people. People that we knew had great businesses were destroyed by Facebook. So if anybody should be pissed off at this guy, it's us. Believe me. Believe me. Okay. But at the same time, I look at this and I think I think part of him is scared. I think he's scared because he's seen what's happened over the past couple of years and he's seen a shift in politics. He's seen a shift in culture. I think he's partly scared. And then maybe there's a part of him that's like changing a little bit because he is getting older. I think it could be both. And you know what? I want to see what happens. I want to see how he
Exactly.
deals with it. I'm going to give him a chance because if he does fail the American people, then, you know, it's like a free market, right? Like we can all be like, well, Facebook sucks. And then what is he going to do? If he doesn't come through on his promises, then what? Dana
Well,
White's going to beat the crap out of him.
But that is a good point because I know some people are really angry because they, like us, were hugely impacted by the horrible changes that he made and all the content moderation, all the nonsense. And there's never been accountability. And I get that. Like he has never had to really pay a price for doing what he did. And I don't think he ever will. But that's still, as much as I hate that, I cannot argue with a single change that he's making. And so I'm just trying to take the good and focus on the positive and hope for the best because it's all, if those changes happen, it's going to be really, really good for conservatives. Right. And ultimately, he admitted in not so many words, but he admitted he censored conservatives.
Right. He did.
He's owning it to the extent, you know, without saying, man, I really, really censored conservatives. He said everything but those exact words. And so
because if he didn't,
that.
Right. Because if he didn't do those things, he wouldn't be making all these sweeping changes.
Yep.
So he basically saying, I effed up, you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make these changes. Because if he wouldn't be putting in community notes, then it's like you're putting in community notes because you screwed up with all the fact checkers. It's like he's essentially saying, I screwed up without saying I screwed up. It's like, we know you screwed up because we were affected by your screw ups, dude. So there won't be any accountability. I know, I get it. And, you know, at the same time, we couldn't hold him accountable because he was a company. What are we supposed to do? He can do whatever he wants with this company, right? What are we supposed to do with that? We just used his platform as just one of the entities. And we tried for years to get people off of Facebook. We tried.
Oh my God. We begged y'all. We were like, please just go to our site or please go to these other platforms. But people are creatures of habit.
Right.
And that's where they are.
You know, people can hate Facebook all they want, but you use it every day. So it's like, you know, I welcome this change because people never got off of Facebook and they ain't ever going to get off it. So
here's some reaction. Ben Shapiro said, this is a sea change in the direction at Facebook. Zuckerberg spelled out his vision of free speech at Georgetown in 2019 to the consternation and shock of the left. Facebook then proceeded to cave, engaging in mass censorship, and the tide has turned. Good for Zuckerberg. I completely agree with all of that.
I do too.
Scott Adams, I think, is next, saying, I don't think this is a mystery. Zuckerberg is insanely smart and capable. He's reading the room. He's a patriot. Apparently, he likes free speech as much as you do and sees the same issues you see. Business-wise, he needs the U.S. government to pressure other nations to stop censoring. There is no other way. Facebook has been crippled by their own biased fact checkers. Community Notes works. He's a fast follower. Summary, this is smart, perfectly timed, and on point.
Yeah, he's a fast follower. He sees Elon and he's like, I want to be like Elon. And that, if he wants to be like Elon, that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing at all. Not a bad thing at all. A couple more reactions. Brian Stelter said, big picture, Mark Zuckerberg just announced sweeping changes to the social internet, all in line with the desires of Trump and Trump voters. Out with the fact checkers that conservatives deride. In with more permissive rules for posting conservative opinions.
In with more free speech.
Right. How is this a bad thing?
Well, I guess it's a bad thing for Brian Stelter, the journalist. Yeah.
Nicole Shanahan is one of the people that are bitter. And I get it. Like, I totally understand her point as well. She said, this is interesting timing. 4 years after censoring a sitting president, Zuck suddenly announces these reforms right after the same man he banned from his platform gets reelected by the people. What about the thousands who were censored and humiliated for speaking truth to power?
She's not wrong. She's totally
Not
not
wrong.
wrong. But he doesn't. But is he going to be held accountable? What are we going to do? Put him in jail?
That's
What are
the
we gonna
thing. Like,
do?
what can we do except
We can't-
welcome change?
Right. We can't do anything about it. The guy runs a company the way he wants to run I mean, I can't. What am I supposed to do? I would have loved to have like punished him in some way when he tried to destroy us years ago. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
There's nothing. I've never liked the guy. I still think he's an alien from Gleeborg 9. I don't like him, but
Mhm.
I do welcome changes. If he's
Yeah.
gonna provide a platform with more free speech, I have to applaud that because I like
Exactly.
free speech. Period.
And you can understand that he is self-serving and money-oriented.
Of course.
And you can understand all of those things and still be glad that there are positive changes coming. Like, I don't understand why people are so dug in on their heels to be mad about it. Why? What is the point of being mad about positive change?
Right.
I don't get it. I do not
Yeah.
get it. The people that were most surprised about Mark Zuckerberg's announcement apparently were the fact checkers that he is getting rid of. So, according to this tweet, fact checkers claim they were blindsided by Meta's decision to end their partnerships, and they reportedly feared they won't be able to secure new business.
Oh no. What are they going to do with their What are they going to do with their lives? Like, do you have that on a resume? Like, what is that? That's an actual job title. I was a fact checker at Facebook. What are you going to go do now? What are you
I
going to
just
do?
could not be less sad about this. This is the best karma ever.
They could go work as producers on The View, I guess. Like, what do you do?
I just love this. And then the best headline ever came from the New York Times, which Babylon Bee's Kyle Mann immediately made fun of. New York Times said, Meta says fact checkers were the problem. Fact checkers rule that false.
That's the greatest.
And so Kyle Mann was like, I would like to offer whoever wrote this headline at the Times a job at the Babylon Bee.
That is so great.